morning. You join us as the final minute. As all the cars are now over the line, your top three again are a Ferrari, Ricciardo and Sebastian Vettel. Practice times are on the board then, but no points are on offer just yet. We'll be back with more F1 action soon. An interesting practice session there then. Let's remind ourselves of the top three.
Hi, how are you? I'm just passing on your qualifying goals for this weekend.
Qualifying is about to start here at the Autodromo di Monza for the...
That's the fastest lap so far. Well done. Concede close to using up the load. Pit in within 2 laps.
As we wind down from the excitement of qualifying, here's a look at your top 3. A Ferrari, Vettel and Nico Rosberg. Goodbye for now then, but we're really just getting started. Make sure to join us again for Lights Out tomorrow.
Hello. I just wanted to pass on the team's expectations for this race. Good luck.
It's race day here in Italy once again. Monza, home to so many records. The smallest winning margin, for example. Do you remember in 1971, Peter Gethin beat Ronnie Peterson to the line by 1/100th of a second. There were 40 overtakes for the lead alone in 1965, and Kimi Raikkonen clocked a record top speed of 230 miles per hour here, just over a decade ago. So there's a lot to live up to then for all of our drivers today. With top speeds in excess of 220 miles per hour, few places can hope to touch Monza's crown as the fastest circuit in Formula One. Hard braking zones going into 3 chicanes make up the majority of the 11 corners on this 3.6-mile circuit. And just in case the slipstream wasn't enough, well, 2 DRS zones will help encourage some close action. It's a very tight turn 1 here and a very big braking zone. It's a corner, Anthony Davidson, where we've seen a number of lap 1 incidents in the past.
As you say, it's a very small piece of track when you have more than just one car trying to go through it. The actual run down towards the chicane is quite wide, so off the start, we'll often see drivers running 2 or maybe 3 abreast as they come up towards the braking zone. Everyone wants to brake late, of course, to win track position, and that tends to be where we see a lot of contact. And you'll see the more experienced drivers kind of hang back a little into here and focus more on picking up the pieces from other people's incidents.
You've done well to put it on pole, but we've still got work to do. Trying to cover the inside line off the start.
We're almost ready to go then, and this is what the starting grid looks like for today's race. It's Ferrari in pole position then, and starting alongside in P2 is Sebastian Vettel. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Rosberg, Hamilton, Sergio Perez and Verstappen, Ricciardo, Massa, Hülkenberg and Valtteri Bottas, Palmer, Alonso, Jenson Button and Magnussen, Grosjean, Gutierrez, Carlos Sainz and Daniel Kvyat, Haryanto and Wehrlein, Marcus Ericsson and Felipe Nasser starts from the back of the grid. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
ready with the clutch? Let me know you're all right.
Great effort there from Ferrari to take the victory today. Tell me, Ant, what was the key to this success?
The difference was clearly in the strategy. You could tell they'd done a lot of work on the pit wall to really optimise each stint and get the most out of the tyres. And it highlights just how much of a team sport this really is. And the credit to the driver as well, though. There's no good having a well-oiled machine behind the scenes without a talented hand on the wheel, of course.
And as we can see, it's time for the podium, and as the drivers make their way out, there's a familiar red suit making its way to the top step. Fantastic win for Ferrari. And now let's take a look at the drivers' standings. It wasn't the best weekend for our championship leader, and their advantage at the top has been reduced. And now I'd like to ask you, Anthony Davidson, who was your driver of the day?
Probably Carlos Sainz. You know, strong pace, good work with the strategy, just a very complete drive, I think.
And here's how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. Ferrari extend their lead at the top of the championship. Meanwhile, Toro Rosso's strong weekend allows them to continue their march up the table. That's it for today's Grand Prix, and from Ant and I, it's goodbye, and see you again next time.